this is Chris, and I wanted to bring you this video as we are preparing to head to Scotland in a few weeks. There's some interesting things that are very different between Scotland and Texas when it comes to driving. And a few of those things were a learning experience on our first trip in 2013. Number one is when you're driving through London, you should be very aware. Now, if you're driving through London, you've made your very first mistake. Do not drive in London. Come in the airport, take the train, take public transportation, the underground system, the buses. Do not drive in London. If you can at all avoid it, do not drive in London. The second thing with driving in London is this, that every day you drive in London, it's called a congestion zone. So the whole city of London, you have to pay £15 per day from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. to drive anywhere in London. Now, that's 7 days a week. This is important to know because in 2013, we arrived in London. The rental car company did not say anything to us about having any form of special license. And for 2 days, we drove in the city of London without this license, not knowing at all. So when we got home after about a month to 2 months, we received a $300 bill in the mail. So avoid driving in London if you can at all costs. The second thing with that is parking space is very limited, and even your hotel may only have 2 or 3 spots of parking available, so you definitely want to check that. Number 2, unless you're in a really built up area, it is not always common to find that there are speed limit signs, and you are naturally just supposed to know what the speed limit is in that specific area. So specifically in Scotland, if you are within a city limits, it is 30 miles per hour. If you are on a single carriageway, which is a lane going this way and a lane going that way, then the speed limit is usually 60 miles an hour. On a dual carriageway or your big freeway system where there's usually 2 lanes going one way and 2 lanes coming the other way or more, it's usually 70 miles per hour. But it's important to pay attention because sometimes there are speed limit signs that let you know that the speed is different than the normal standard. You can also find this information online, and I suggest memorizing that and also memorizing some of the road signs because they are different and it's good to know. Number 3, along with this, is also understand the speed limit, tickets, cops, all that kind of stuff. So understand what that means. And you have these areas called average speed zones. And this was completely confusing to me one of the first times I drove through it just a few years ago on one of our last trips. And what that means is that as you enter into this area, there is a speed limit and a picture is taken. And when you exit, a picture is taken. And you are timed through this area. And so if your time is too short, per se, you will probably get a ticket in the mail or your rental car company. In fact, the rental car company will send you the ticket plus a surcharge. So make sure you're paying attention. Along with this, there are these signs that look like a vintage camera, like from the late 1800s or something. And these are areas where you might see speed cameras that'll take your picture and have a radar, that'll tag your car and see how fast you're driving. Or there might be also, you might not see a camera whatsoever, but there might be a van, a police van, sometimes sitting on overpasses and other such things that have a camera in them that are checking radar. They're not going to come and chase you down and pull you over unless you're just driving really recklessly or something. But again, a ticket in the mail. And I have seen cops, they drive more like station wagon type vehicles, hatchbacks, and I've seen them pull over vehicles that were probably driving excessively or drunk or other things less like this. But there are less cops on the roads than average, and a lot more electronic radar systems for checking your speed, which is a major difference than here in Texas. So number 4, I find interesting, and I don't know if this is really true or not, but every rental car that I've had, the speed limit the actual speed limit that I'm going compared to the speedometer is different. So the speedometer might read 70 miles per hour, but I'm actually going 65. Now, what it seemed to me is that every rental car is that the speedometer is set higher than the actual speed you're going. And I assume this is so then there's less tickets having to be gone through and handed out because of all of these camera systems and everything. So that's just a different, I've tested it over and over by using different apps and checking the speed on the apps compared to the speedometer. In every single car that I have rented in the UK, I have found this to be true. And I don't know if it's set to be like a 10% difference or a 3 to 5 mile per hour difference, but there's usually a 3 to 5 mile per hour difference between the speed that I'm actually going and what the speedometer says. And I still don't speed when I'm in the UK. When I'm in Scotland, I always try to obey the speed limit signs, but there is a learning curve to driving there compared to here. So just pay attention to that. So these are just a few of the things that I found out while driving in the UK and in Scotland. So hope these things help you. We would love it if you would subscribe to our channel. We are preparing to move there, and we would love if you would be a part of Clan Stellhorn. Consider going to newinternational.com, searching Stellhorn, go to our website, clanstellhorn.com, and becoming a monthly partner with us as we head over into the UK to do mission work. Thank you very much. Bye.
Scarlet!